A new year is not a doorway for everyone. For most, it becomes a loop, the same lessons, the same pain, the same exhaustion in a different calendar. But for a few, the new year becomes a portal. Not because the universe favors them, but because they release what others refuse to drop. You don't ascend by adding more energy. You ascend by removing the weights that block it. If you want 2026 to answer your soul, your nervous system, your energy body, and your destiny, you must first empty your hands of what drains your spirit. These are the 5 things the awakened ones are releasing right now. Else, the final days of a year are not meant for noise. They are meant for inventory. Most people review. What did I gain this year? The evolving soul asks, what in me must die before I step forward? Letting go is not loss, it is clearance. Energy cleansing is not aesthetic spirituality, it is surgery on the self. Every tradition, from Kemetic mysticism to Eastern alchemy to African indigenous cosmology, teaches the same principle. The new cannot occupy a space that is already filled with the old. So before we script our goals, routines, manifestations, or cosmic upgrades for 2026, we must first talk about release. 1. Your attachment to struggling. Many seekers are addicted to becoming. They romanticize the climb, the pain, the complexity, the constant identity crisis. They say, I'm trying, I'm healing, I'm becoming better. But look closely, they never allow themselves to arrive. Why? Because struggling gives them identity, suffering gives them story, and the ego loves a narrative more than liberation. But the ascending human is done with this. In 2026, you are not trying to become strong. You are becoming the person who refuses to identify as someone who is always fixing themselves. True evolution feels like this. You stop introducing yourself through wounds. You stop bonding through trauma. You stop narrating your healing like a journey that never ends. You finally say internally, I don't want the story anymore. I want the state. Because ascension is not the process. It is the new baseline. 2 people who drain your frequency. There are people you love and people you outgrew. The wise ones know the difference without guilt. Some relationships operate like energy leaks, constant complaining, emotional dependency, envy masked as concern, conversations that feel heavy after they end, or connections built on habit instead of alignment. You are not cruel for releasing them. You are honest, because ascension has one rule the unawakened never accept. You cannot carry everyone into your next energetic phase. This release may look like muting instead of arguing, withdrawing instead of explaining, choosing distance without hatred, and allowing silence to become the farewell. Not everyone deserves access to your next self, not because they are bad, but because their frequency is not built for where you're going. The new year is revealing the cost of certain connections, and you are finally brave enough to pay attention to the math. 3. Overstimulation and digital noise. The nervous system cannot ascend through constant distraction. Endless scrolling, reactive content, comparison cycles, outrage entertainment, dopamine addictions, and information overload do one thing very efficiently. They collapse your energetic capacity. Most seekers want cosmic downloads while their minds are drowning in digital static. But higher awareness requires silence, boredom, tolerance, focus stamina, and a mind that is not constantly snatched by notifications. This is why monks, mystics, and ancient initiates train their minds away from noise, not to escape reality, but to hear the cosmic layer beneath it. You are releasing digital chaos if you can sit without grabbing your phone. You watch content intentionally, not compulsively. You prefer reflection over reaction. You choose depth over volume. And you finally understand that the algorithm is not my stillness is. Or, luck owns you, not the one you master. Let's speak about it clearly and maturely. Sexual energy is not the enemy of ascension. Unconscious sexual energy is. When lust runs your nervous system, you lose. clarity, intuition, discipline, energetic magnetism, spiritual receptivity, and self-command. This is not spiritual moralizing. It is energetic mechanics. Ancient alchemy taught, do not kill desire, master it, circulate it, elevate it, transmute it. But most seekers don't transmute lust. They obey it. And the cost is spiritual stagnation. You are releasing lust as your master if you no longer chase it like a coping mechanism. You don't negotiate with your boundaries. You can hold sexual energy without leaking it into impulse. You see intimacy as sacred exchange, not dopamine. And you finally say internally, my energy is not here to be spent, it is here to be raised. That is release. That is ascension. That is self-mastery. 5. The fear of being different. Most people want awakening but fear standing out, thinking independently, disappointing expectations, or evolving beyond the herd's emotional approval. But ascension isolates before it elevates, not as punishment, but as preparation. The ones who rise are not the most accepted. They are the most self-approved. You are releasing the fear of being different if you don't contort yourself to fit. You don't shrink your voice to comfort others. You don't dim your awareness to belong. You don't apologize for evolving. And you finally understand, I was not born to blend. I was born to upgrade. Let these 5 releases imprint your soul. 1. The identity of struggling. 2. People who drain your frequency. 3. Overstimulation and digital noise. 4. Unmastered lust. 5. Fear of being different. Release is not emptiness. It is readiness. The new year does not upgrade you. It meets you at the level you cleared space for. If you walk into 2026 lighter, quieter, and self-commanding, you are not entering a new year. You are entering a new you. If you are done carrying the old into 2026, comment, I release, I rise. Like this video if you are stepping forward still strong. Subscribe if you want more cosmic truths, inner alchemy, and self-mastery scripts that build you into someone unshakable. Because ascension is not emotional decoration. It is disciplined clearance. And you are living proof. Subscribe if you want more cosmic truths, inner alchemy, and self-mastery scripts that build you into someone unshakable. Because ascension is not emotional decoration. It is disciplined clearance. And you are living proof.